so when you're trimming a bowl, you want to check how thick it is so you don't trim all the way through your bowl. And then you'll flip it upside down and try to line it up in the center of the wheel as best you can. And then the first thing to do is to really get it centered. So let the wheel, this is how I like to do it. Let the wheel spin and just hold your finger so you can see where it's touching. That actually looks pretty centered already. So I'll show you if it's off center. Hold my finger steady, you can see like it's only touching them at times. So I'll try to stop it when it's touching it and push it away. When it's touching it and push it away. Until I get it more in the center. And once you get it exactly centered, then you're ready to trim. The other thing you can do,
it's right there.
Oh, okay. The other thing you can do is draw a little circle on it. Some people like to do this method. And so you can see this was already in the middle, so it's pretty even on all different sides. If it wasn't in the middle, your circle will be marking the middle of the wheel. And you can see my pot is not in the middle of the wheel. So here's the middle of the wheel. I want to move my pot this way. The thing with this is you have to keep smoothing it out, and then you get confused which circle is which. But you can see it's bigger on this side, smaller on this side, so you want to move it a little bit this way. And then try it again. And now it looks centered. Once it's in the middle, take some clay, not too sticky, but not too hard. Put it on either side and just push it down a little to hold it in place. Try it the other way. I usually push it on both sides at the same time, because if you just do one side, it might push it off center again. And you want your bowl at leather hard. If it's too soft, it'll damage your rim when you flip it, or you can have this part cave in. If it's too hard, you'll tear up the tools trying to trim it. So if it does go too hard, either just start over on a new bowl or re-wet it with wet paper towels and spraying it and bring it back to life. The trimming tool I usually hold kind of like a pencil. My pointer finger is controlling it, and then I have my arms braced on my legs in this nice triangle shape, so I have lots of control to keep my tool steady. I usually put my fingers out to rest against the pot, just to gently rest and help guide my tool. And that way if it does catch, if my pot catches on this and flies, I have my hands there to catch it. And it's a little bit like machining. I am just a machine that stays in one place, and the pot turns and cuts itself underneath my tool. It's not completely like that. It'll bounce a little bit, but that's the basic idea, is I'm being steady and I'm letting the pot cut underneath. And it comes off in these long, beautiful ribbons. It's actually quite fun. You start off by trimming the outside edge just to make everything round. You can also, when you're throwing a bowl, it tends to be a little thicker right here because it needed all that clay to help support when you were making it the first time. And so now's a good chance to take some of that off so that your bowl is nice and evenly thick all the way through. If your pot was uneven on the bottom, you can carve this a little bit, but if you carve it too much, it will just go through the inside of your pot. carve out the inside so that when it's done being glazed, you just have a little one ring, foot ring that's not glazed, and the inside can be glazed. Some people get confused how far to go or where to put it. So if it helps you, draw a little line first, like that, so that you know this is my foot ring and this part we're going to carve out. And when you're carving on the inside, use the corner. And carve a little hole, carve the next row, work your way out, one row at a time. Once you get good at it, you can do a spiral. You can just start at the middle and just slowly work your way out like this. But you might not want to start out like that just because it's a little harder to control. You're just going to slowly carve a little bit at a time until it's the shape that you want it to be. Because a bowl is round on the inside, you can make this part round too. It can be a little higher here and kind of going down on the sides so that it matches the shape of the inside of your bowl. Doing this on the middle, don't use a large tool on both sides because it's spinning this way over here and it's spinning this way over here, and it could get caught and it'll twist and it'll jab through the bottom of your pot. So that's something to watch out for. Out here it's fine to use the big wide sections because it's not really happening, it's only going in one direction. And then at the very end, just smooth it out. You can use the back of your thumbnail or you can use a sponge. Smooth it out and make it pretty because this part won't have any glaze on it to cover it up. And then sign your name on it and you have a bowl with a trimmed foot.